Bitcoin has been pumping through the roof. We are at $24,800. We've been up to 26,200 or so, and I want to break down for you where I think we're going to be going. I think that we still have some more upside, but this is getting really fucking risky, and I'll tell you why. It's because people are potentially going to start entering late long positions, guys. Take a look at the long and short ratio evening out a little bit now. We had a very heavy skew in both directions over the last few days, and now we are just bang on even. This is looking really interesting. There's a lot that we need to cover, so make sure you do smash up those likes if you're excited for this one. Guys, I've been in a very big trade on Bitcoin over these last days. Made like $150,000 in profits, and I told you all about that inside of Forflies Gold, which you can join with the link in the description down below, and in Forflies VIP, of course. I want to highlight to you that Bybit is offering you 30k in straight cash, and all you got to do to get it is sign up using the link below, make your first deposit, and begin trading. This is going to take less than 5 minutes. The best time to do this was yesterday. The best time to do this was last week, because you could have been trading all of these moves with free money, but the second best time is right now, and you get up to 20k on OKX as well. Check them both out with the links in the description down below. You can make a new account to get these bonuses if you already have an account on these exchanges. But let's get straight into this, because we are flirting with that 25k level right now. It is absolutely crazy. It's almost a little bit hard to believe, because we have now, we've seen a complete retracement of the whole drop that we actually produced on this chart now. And if we take a look at how it's looking in terms of just nicely spaced out attacks at this resistance level, on the first time it took us quite a while to get back up to the 25k area. We got a huge rejection, but next time we came back up so quickly. And if we actually just put this into perspective, the previous time was 6 months that it took us to get back up to 25k, and the very next time 3 weeks, right? It's kind of like hard to believe in terms of how these time frames are looking, and because it's happening so quickly, this is generally going to indicate that we could be looking at real sustained breakouts. And obviously we know why this is happening, right? There's that US bank collapse issue and potentially contagion across the rest of the world. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, but for now, what I do want to focus on is just the charts. There's so much going on. I made a live stream earlier. If you were subscribed, you got the bell icon checked, you would have been able to watch that as well. Very good content coming out on this YouTube channel lately. We've actually been 100% on point about pretty much everything we have been talking about. I entered my long position over here. Like I said, I told you guys about it in my VIP channel and in my free channel. You can check them both out with the links down below. Now writing this up, and because we've already gotten this breakout, and because we're not seeing a steep rejection now, I'm actually very optimistic about this, because the thing is that this red line previously was where Bitcoin stopped the previous 2, or if you count these areas as individual times, in the previous like 5-6 times that Bitcoin actually got up to this area, this red line is what stopped the price. We weren't able to get above it, but on this occasion here, not only did we get above this red line, we cleared it with a pretty decent margin. We cleared it with 6%, so you guys know the deal. 1%, 3% breakout rule. This kind of indicates that we could be looking at real price action, and we stayed above, right? I mean, we are back down now, don't get me wrong, but we stayed above for 8 hours. I think that's a really big deal. I think that's definitely worth paying attention to. Daily time frame, we do have a bit of an ugly wick. I can't lie, I'm not super happy about this, but this very next daily candle, which has of course just opened in the last few hours, isn't looking too bad. I'm in a weird time zone right now, guys. I was just a little bit confused when I was saying that. I'm in fucking Tokyo right now. I'm in Japan. Guys, if you're in Japan, let me know what's up if you want to meet, if you just have some cool recommendations. I've never been to Tokyo. I'm very uncultured when it comes to Asia. Super excited to be here, though. I mean, like, I can't stop smiling. This is a really cool spot. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to see. I will probably be going to Mount Fuji because I love nature, but I don't know. We'll talk about that later on. Really nice resistance area right here that we are, just kind of sitting at. I mean, the previous times when we got up here, the rejections were pretty quick. I mean, we got up here, very quick rejection here. We got up here, and yes, we kind of hung about for a little bit, but we still got some pretty steep rejections. We're not looking at doing that right now, so I like what I'm seeing. But the good news is that even if we do end up dropping down, we have a lot of support below us, right? This is a really important support area. We found support here before. It did end up collapsing. It's not the strongest area of support. It hasn't really helped Bitcoin in the past 6, 7, 8 months or whatever, but it's still support, and I think that it's quite clear we're pretty bullish right now. The other good news, and I've said this before the last time we were here, is that we have really good support from indicators like the Ichimoku cloud. Look, last time with the 1 hour cloud, it was actually pretty useful. We found at least 1 or 2 bounces off this cloud. Look at this wick right here as well. So Really nice support right now, stretching from 23k all the way up to 24.4. Definitely something that I'm going to be looking at for Bitcoin to potentially find a little bit of support before, maybe rallying back up. On the 4-hour time frame, if you zoom out a little bit more, the support is right in the middle of this crucial range between 22.7 to 23.8. And I do think that if we fall below this green line, we're just going to fall down to this one, and we should be fine. That's exactly what happened last time as well. Where, we've got pretty much the same setup as last time, where unfortunately it did break the next time, but we have the same setup in terms of all the same support areas and all the same places. But again, this time what's really important to keep in mind is, like, each time we get up to these areas of resistance where we could be looking at dropping back a little bit, it gets better when we first consider that our lows are not getting lower, right? We've actually punched in a really nice higher low. This is a really big deal, guys. I can't stress this enough to you guys, and it's probably the primary reason that I entered such a heavy long position, is that we've now set really nice consecutive higher lows in this market. If this thing came back down to like 17, 16, 15k, then yeah, sure, it wouldn't be as exciting. But bottom line, what we do have here, even if we did go all the way back down, is that the market has rallied up and pulled back to give bears a chance to exit the market, right? You guys will remember a lot about how I was talking about, bears are just very fucking cocky, right? I mean, right now they're very quiet, obviously, but just a few days ago they were very cocky. Bears just wanted to see Bitcoin burn and go down to the ground, and obviously that didn't end up working out for them, because anytime, whether it's bulls or bears, that people get cocky, it just doesn't work out, right? Bad things end up happening. And I was talking to you all about how the sentiment was extremely fierce against me, but how I'm not here to fucking make friends, right? I'm not here to stand around in a circle patting each other's backs, tugging each other off, because I actually want to make money, right? That's why I entered these beautiful positions here. I'm actually, by the way, I'm testing a strategy on OKX as well. Take a look at this, 99% profit on this demo trading account right here. Quite excited for this. This is a bot that I am actually making in-house, which is very cool for me. It's the first time I'm doing something like that. Super cool. Take a look at some more of the information on my trade right here. Again, I made this trade on Bybit. You can check it out with that link down below to get your $30,000 in cash. Again, it's just free capital, right? It's just free money that they're going to give you for signing up using my link in the description. And OKX on top of that gives you $20,000 in rewards as well. So it's just well worth checking out. And if you are interested in checking out VIP, I want to highlight to you guys that with the most recent trade that I alerted VIPs on, this is very outdated now. I'm actually in like a 200% profit. I actually have that in this screenshot up here. It's like, yeah, 200% profit, maybe a little bit less right now. We are running a 50% discount right now. So you can join by following the steps on screen right here. Link here gets you inside of my free Telegram channel, and then you can send me a message. That's it. Puts you in a direct chat with me. We'll get you inside, give you a really good offer. And so, as far as this, area goes with support, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I love the fact that we've managed to punch in a new higher low as well. Again, this is just kind of what resets the market, right? So now that we're at the same level that we've had problems at before, we've come back. First of all, we fucking come back, right? So that in itself is kind of a big deal, right? The market is getting punched down, it's getting kicked down, but then it's just getting back up and fighting again. You can't ignore that. That's a really big sign of strength. And then number two is that this is after a pullback, right? And so every time we come back from a pullback, it's almost like taking a fresh shower, and then we're ready to go hit the track again. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like you've been in a fight. You've been you've been fighting fucking polar bears, and then you come back home. You eat a little bit of food. You have some soup. You recharge. You go in the sauna a little bit, and then bam, you're right back out ready to fight polar bears. I know this is a channel of bad analogies, but that's probably like ranking in the top 10 of the worst analogies I've ever made, because where did polar bears come from? But anyway, we are potentially in one of those situations now, and that's why I'm actually really bullish here. If we take a look at some more of the indicators here, 4-hour EMA ribbon, again in the very same place. We've got confluence building here in this very same range here. I love that. This is a really strong sign. If the market decides to take a steep drop right now, because I know a lot of people are really wanting that to happen, we have a lot of support ready to save Bitcoin. We have support as low as 21.5. Again, I really don't want to see Bitcoin losing this 21.5 level. I said that previously with the FTX high. With this drop here at the previous FTX high. We did obviously end up deviating, which is one of the key things I said could happen. It was a really scary prediction for me to make, because I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to believe it would happen until it happens, but this was one of the key ideas I was talking about. Again, if you were subscribed, you would know all about that. I don't want to see us dropping below this level again, but deviation is still possible. I think that if we do end up going back down below this level, then that's going to be it. I just don't see that. But honestly, the thing is that there's just so much bullish momentum here that I would really just kind of start scratching my head and being like, what's going on if we start dropping back below, you know, pretty low levels now. I mean, you know, 21.5 is a whole $3,500 lower than where we are right now. I don't want to see us dropping down that low in the first place, because like, what's going on, right? We're supposed to have a very bullish sentiment right now, and I certainly don't want to see us losing areas like that. So, you know, I'm okay until this area is lost. We start losing this area, and to be honest, I'm going to be looking at closing up my long position. That's okay with me. You know, I've already secured $50,000 on this position. Yes, I've got a huge unrealized profit, so I would like to, you know, keep that and run it a little bit higher. You know, but at the same time, if we start losing these areas of support, that is going to be a little bit concerning. My stop loss is at break even, so whatever. I don't really care anymore. There's no loss that I can make. You know, but I think that yeah, you know, just kind of putting my stop loss honestly like up here would still make a little bit of sense. Let me see what kind of gain that's going to be. I'm on 10x leverage, so that's a minimum profit of 40% on what's left in the position. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It beats out the entire market so far. Like, that in itself beats out the entire market, which is very, very impressive. But that's just the nature of leverage trading. That's why I trade the way I do. You know, obviously people that hold altcoins, what's really interesting is you'll see that people who hold a lot of altcoins right now are up in USD. Everyone's up in USD, but they're not up against Bitcoin, which is a real losing situation, right? Like, if you're losing Bitcoin while the market is going up, you're you know, it's I don't know, it's like you're just stabbing your foot while you're trying to run forward. Like, you know, you're not helping yourself, and that's why I take this approach in trading. That's why I've been this way since 2018. This is going back like 5 years now. I used to trade altcoins and shitcoins back in 2017. I even did a little bit in 2018 and 19, but you know, 2019 was pretty much where I just sold the last of my altcoins, and I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm not touching this shit again, because you just make way more money as a leverage trader, and you're more in control of it. You know, with altcoins, you just kind of have to buy something and hope that something cool happens, and meanwhile other people are making money, you know, with quite predictable ways of trading. You know, that's the approach that I like to take. You know, I want to have more control of where my money is going. We're traders at the end of the day, right? So we're already doing the highest throughput activity we can do in order to make money. You know, so I prefer to have a little bit of control of that, just so I know where I'm going, right? But everyone's a little bit different. The thing about this area, which is really, really exciting in terms of where Bitcoin could be going, is that because we're, you know, I mean, we're really looking like we can break this resistance area. We basically already have. We're consolidating at it, which is another strong sign, because I want to bring this to your attention. I said this last time as well, as Bitcoin didn't really consolidate at resistance last time, you know, back here in August, but back here in February of this year, we did, right? We just kind of hung around at the resistance level, which is a really strong sign, and that's why I thought Bitcoin would break up. We're doing the same thing right now. Obviously, everything's just better about this, and the fact that we're here again, you know what I mean? I'm repeating myself now, but it's a really, really strong setup. I'm quite positive that Bitcoin should be able to continue higher, and again, you know, when we zoom out and take a bit of a broader view on what's actually going on here in the market, there is no resistance, right? Between this red line and this yellow box here that starts at about 30K, there's really nothing that can stop Bitcoin from rising up. I know a lot of people are talking about levels like 28.6, and this definitely makes sense for Bitcoin to stop moving up at this level, because this is where we previously were finding support back in May of 2022. This is where we had a wick. This is where we just had a little bit of like fluff, whatever, back in 2021. So, you know, there is some, you know, reason to be a little bit, I don't want to say worried, obviously, but a little bit concerned about 28.6. Definitely an area that, you know, might turn into a bit of a problem for Bitcoin. But, you know, I think we either, you know, and this is the thing, is like, me personally, I'm looking at 30K, right? Either we undershoot it or we overshoot it, right? We're probably not going to, you know, just bang on, hit 30K and then drop. And I know that a lot of people are still looking at the market targeting new lows. I have to say that that's, you know, I don't know if I think that's possible or not. It's a little bit too long-term macro analysis for me. I'm more of a short-term trader, so I don't want to comment on that too much, but I am open to that possibility. You know, I think this is a phenomenal range to be taking profits, up in the high $20,000 range. You know, we've basically, you know, doubled already, really, from where we bottomed out. I mean, you know, from low to high, we're up by 71%. That's not basically doubling, but we're getting close. I mean, you know, we're gonna double once we get up to like 30K. So you know, we're not too far away, especially when we consider these ranges, right? One of the key things that I was saying to you guys when the market was dropping, you know, because I don't want you guys to be scared, right? This is really, really important, is when the market's going up or down, when the market's fucking doing whatever it likes, you know, I firmly believe, and I really, really firmly believe this, is that there should be absolutely no space for excitement. For excitement, maybe, I guess, but ideally not. Definitely not happiness. Definitely not sadness. You know, definitely not fear. You know, and you wanna keep your greed, you know, kind of under control as well. And the reason I'm saying this specifically with happiness and sadness is that if you can feel emotionally polarized in one particular direction, even if it's a like happy feeling, like happiness, you know, it means that you have potential to get screwed on the other side, right? It means that you have potential to then be upset if you lose money, and your judgment's going to be worse than the guy who just switches off his brain and, you know, puts it on the side and then, you know, just trades like a fucking robot. So that's really, really important, and I think that's worth highlighting at a time like this as well. I know that bulls are also starting to get a little bit cocky, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, right? Is that this is kind of the last range that Bitcoin has until really heavy resistance, right? 30k is extremely strong in terms of where the resistance could potentially be, and we don't have to look much further than just this huge fucking bounce, right? If we're getting enormous reversals that, you know, literally trigger new all-time high rallies where the price more than doubles, you know, you better believe that if we kind of come back up, you know, this could act as resistance, right? I mean, that's actually kind of one of the more concerning things that we're looking at on this chart. And what's also important to note is that, you know, we are from our low to our high up by 70% now. So, I mean, there's still some nice upside remaining. Don't get me wrong. This is actually a really nice range to trade, and it's even better on other coins, right? Coins like Ethereum, according to what I'm seeing, look even better than Bitcoin, and I've been covering that stuff with you as well. I'm going to get to that momentarily in this video as well. Do me a favor and smash up the likes if you're enjoying this video so far, and if you want to hear me cover that Ethereum analysis, guys, I would really appreciate that. But you know, what I think is worth keeping in mind is that most of the gains have now kind of been had in this market, but what we saw is you know, the long and short ratio starting to even out a little bit now. So you know, to me, if we start to see, you know, a lot of people piling in late longs at this stage now, you know, that's where this thing can start to topple over. I do feel just between you and I, like just kind of like face to face, I kind of feel like everyone's like, all right, we've been rising up a lot now, we must be ready to drop, you know? Like, I'm not really feeling like there's this extremely strong FOMO where it's like, fuck, Bitcoin is just going up, there's nothing else that's gonna happen, I need to buy, I need to FOMO long. I mean, there's definitely a bit of that, don't get me wrong, there is definitely a bit of that in the space right now. But I don't know, it feels like people are like, all right, we've gone up by quite a lot, we need to retrace, you know what I mean? And the thing is that sentiment has been here since like 22,000, you know, where a lot of really good traders that I respect, you know, very, very much, you know, have entered their long positions all the way down here, but they exited up here, you know, like there was just very strong expectations for a reversal, and then we just blew up. I mean, just lightsaber candle up all the way past many of our resistance levels into the 24k range. You know, and I'm not saying that we're just going to continue this staircase it's not even a staircase to heaven, it's just a straight fucking hockey stick. I'm not saying we're going to continue this up to 30k, but at the same time, like, all the resistance levels are defeated now, and still people want to, you know what I mean, like people still want to take on short positions right now. You know, just a little bit ago we actually saw that retail traders were majority short. Now again it has evened out a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like, if we're seeing majority short on retail, where people are, you know, just normal traders, the traders that generally lose money, are now betting that the market is going to go down when we've already broken resistance levels, like, I think that's kind of a big deal. The other thing I was talking to you guys about in the live stream is that, you know, this is kind of, and just in recent videos, this is kind of like a heavy train right now. You know, like, as far as like what I'm seeing, this looks like a really heavy steaming train, and I don't like the idea of getting in front of it, especially at a time like this. You know, like, in general, it's not a good idea to step in front of the steaming train when Bitcoin is just going really just balls to the walls, you know, just all the way. You know, it's generally not a good idea, but especially at times like this, where like the narrative right now, right, like with banks starting to collapse and then Bitcoin looking as strong as it is, it's quite a big deal. You know, it's quite a big deal. It definitely indicates that we could be looking at, you know, some continued upside if the banking crisis gets worse. It might not. I hope it doesn't. Obviously, I've been very clear about that. I'm not praying on the fucking collapse of the US economic system or any country's economic system. Actually, I want people to not have to deal with that problem ideally. You know, but at the same time, what I want and what might happen, could be two different things. And if we are looking at, this thing continuing to get worse, then, well, so far it's really helped Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of a big deal. By the way, this dashboard is something that I am actually making as well for myself. So you're going to be seeing a little bit more of this. We're going to have some really cool stuff up here, just upcoming news events like, whatever, there's the FOMC meetings, CPI data, and so on. I'm going to be having that on the side, but it's actually very similar to MDX Crypto's dashboard. I told him about it, by the way. I'm not ripping him off here. I actually spoke to him about this for a very long time, and I just wanted to make it a little bit different, a little bit more tailored to me. There's some stuff on his thing that I don't want, and there's some stuff here that I do want. So anyway, you'll be seeing a little bit more of this later on as well. For now, yeah, just in terms of where these resistance areas are, I think that, yeah, it's just definitely, it just looks too easy, right, for a little bit more upside. A little bit of consolidation would be fine, right, bit of sideways trading, so on. But, the other thing that we're starting to do here is we're holding these levels, and this is a really strong sign. I mean, on the weekly time frame, we had like the best fucking weekly candle we could have hoped for. This is such a strong reversal candle. I really think this is a big deal. It's like the weekly time frame, we can start to zoom out a little bit and be like, all right, the direction of price movement might stick around for a little bit. This kind of bullish hammer reversal candle is a really big deal. The market came all the way down, grabbed all this liquidity, all those sellers that were counter trading Forflies. Good luck to you guys. They all sold down right at the bottom, and then the market just shot right back up. And now we've seen a really strong week so far. I mean, we're only like 2-3 days into this new week, so it's quite early to make any conclusions on this at the moment. But if we look at a weekly candle like this, following on from a bullish reversal like this, and by the way, this is a really strong bullish engulfing candle as well. This candle eclipsing the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles. I believe, I don't know if I'm counting this correctly, but it doesn't matter. We've eclipsed a lot of weekly candles here. In 1 week we've just erased like so much chop, basically. Chop meaning like just shitty trading. Just in 1 week, which is, again, this is why I said that I don't like the idea of like kind of jumping in front of that steaming train for Bitcoin, because like when it moves, especially at the times like this where the narrative is just so strong, it really moves. I mean, you really don't want to be stepping in front of it, and getting yourself hurt, basically, I think is one of the ways that I would put it. And the other thing that's also worth paying attention to is gold. Gold is actually on a really nice rip right now, and this is a prediction that I've made for a while. You guys who are watching me for a little bit are going to be aware of this. I just want to highlight this to you guys because this was on my Twitter. I mentioned right here, without any ambiguity, gold is going to blow up. It's going to have an explosive rally. Nobody will be prepared. I don't know when, but I feel it. And I posted that on the 5th of March. That was 10 days ago. And then the follow on from that was yeah, just 8 days afterwards. Gold got this really nice big breakout up towards the $1,900 area, which is basically where we are right now. But if we're going to see continued upside for gold, then I definitely think Bitcoin's going to follow, because Bitcoin followed gold on this occasion. Not only gold, but also silver, just other commodities that people jump into when they feel like, things might not be safe in terms of where money is. And also the dollar dropping, right? The dollar found resistance exactly where I predicted for you guys on this YouTube channel. We've now fallen back into an area of support, but that doesn't mean we find support right here, right? I mean, this whole range is support, if we find support at all. So a bounce can happen anywhere here, which does make me a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest with you guys. Like, I don't like, trading this particular direction, like the long side, when the dollar looks like it should be ready to bounce anytime. But I guess the good news for me is that this is a really big range, right? From low to high, this range stretches 3%, which for the dollar is huge. It's like Bitcoin, in a 15% range, right? It's like kind of still a big deal, right? I mean, you don't just like casually break 15% price action, within a day or two, unless it's right now. But generally, you don't do that. And so for the dollar, this is still quite a big deal. And I am going to be keeping an eye on this, right? If we continue to see this drop, then I'm definitely going to be expecting that gold can continue moving up. S&P 500, time for a victory lap here, guys. This is exactly what we were looking at on the YouTube channel for a while. This is also what I said would help Bitcoin massively, is if the S&P 500 up from here, where I said this is an area of resistance. So expect resistance, if we come back down here to this green box or to this red line or both, that we should be able to expect a little bit of support. So that's happened now. That has happened very, very nicely. I want to zoom in a little bit and take a look at this. We fell out of this line by about 2%, and now we're above the line by about 1.5%. So we could be looking at a little bit more upside of, you know, if this support does actually stick. And if it does, then this is a confirmed back test as far as I'm concerned of an area that, you know, I want to put this in perspective. From the time that we topped out to the day we broke out, it was over 1 year. Up to now, we're looking at 430 days. I don't even know how many months that is, but that is a really, really long time, where basically an area of very strong resistance, right? We're not talking about small rejections and then we kind of come back up to the line. No, we're looking at, like, for the S&P, it's a really big deal. 15% within 50 days on this drop right here. On this occasion here, minus 20% within 73 days after we already dropped down massively, right? I mean, these are really big drawdowns that we were seeing off this resistance level. So naturally, as I was saying to you in all of my YouTube videos lately when we were talking about the S&P 500, this makes sense as a bounce zone for the S&P 500. And it kind of blows my mind, right? Because technically this is so sound, right? Technically this is such obvious, straightforward, easy technical analysis, right? I'm not saying anything crazy. And the thing is that if you didn't see this chart within 2023, but if you saw this chart on a, you know, in a textbook, you know, and I told you that this happened in fucking 1963, you know, where many of you probably weren't even born by then, and if you were, whatever, you just wouldn't have been trading, you'd be like, yeah, we're in a, you know, even though we're in a downtrend, we had a breakout. We broke out by, like, not a little bit. We broke out by 5%, which is still a big deal for the S&P 500. And now we're back down at an old area of resistance after a really nice breakout. It makes sense that we get at least a bullish, you know, support bounce. Even if you think that the market is going to keep dropping down, even if you think that the S&P 500 is going to set new lows within this market cycle, a bounce still makes sense, right? Even if we're in a really, really bad downtrend, we still bounce up on the way down. They're called corrections, right? So that's a really big deal, and I've been talking about this a lot. I've been talking about this a lot because sometimes I get a little bit of flack when I pull up, you know, news websites like Cointelegraph, and I'm like, I don't know what happened today, and everyone's like, well, how are you a trader or whatever? Like, that's exactly why I'm a fucking trader. It's because I don't look at the news, you know, and I don't get swept away in that. I've been talking about this every single day that I've been making YouTube videos lately, because if you're getting this information, you're late. Somebody already knew this was happening. Somebody was the creator of this news, i.e. like the person who actually did the thing that we're, you know, that the news people are reporting on. You know, somebody, you know, was friends with the guy. There were insider circles. There were whale groups that knew about this information before you. Then it got to the news editors. Then it got to the publishers. Then finally it got to you. You know, quite frankly, I mean, you know, without offense to you specifically, the dumb people, the masses who are all consuming the news at the same time, the very last people who generally will make losses anyways. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not right. Like the kind of thing to be paying attention to. And the really big problem with this stuff is that, you know, the people that are making these news articles aren't smart either. You know, this is a really like, you're from the very beginning, you're taking information from stupid people, because, you know, if the market is dropping, they're just going to make bearish headlines, right? I mean, they're just going to try and justify what's happening. Everyone's like, well, why is the market dropping? Let me go on fucking whatever news website, and they're probably going to have some reason, because there's already, you know, there's always like 1 million you can pick and choose from. Like, all right, I'm just going to choose that one today and then make a headline about it. That's how it works. That is literally how it works, because when we pump up, we start getting bullish headlines, right? And like, the bullish stuff existed already. You know what I mean? The bearish stuff existed already. We're just picking and choosing what to pay attention to on the particular day. And so these news websites are, you know, in response, you know, responding to what's happening, and then, you know, giving you news articles. And what's, you know, what the problem is that when we get down to these support areas, obviously we had to dip to get down to the support area, so there's going to be, you know, negative headlines, and, you know, you're consuming that stuff, you're looking at other YouTubers that are discussing this stuff, and you know what, for entertainment, sure, I get it, whatever. I think it's interesting too, for entertainment. But if you're actually serious about your money and you're looking to trade this stuff to actually make money, you're taking the worst information you possibly could, because this information is exactly what makes you bearish when we fall down to support levels. It's exactly what makes you bullish when we go up to resistance levels. You know, and it's very, very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So that's why I always say, don't get swept away with the hype, guys. Focus on the facts, focus on the numbers, focus on the charts, not on, you know, the words that can be very, very easily manipulated. I can't stress this enough. It's probably like one of the most common things I say on this YouTube channel, and it feels like no matter how much I say it, it's not enough. I don't know, if you're getting tired of me saying it, then let me know, and I guess I can tone it back a little bit. You know, I know that you guys, a lot of you were very interested in specific price levels from me in terms of like where I think Bitcoin could go from here. The thing is it's just like it's very irrational right now. You know, I mean, it's in a bit of a you know, rising, you know, ascending channel. This is clearly just a deviation, but you know, these are pretty bullish patterns for Bitcoin, right? I mean, you know, kind of moving up quickly, then moving up slowly, potentially getting ready to move up quickly again. It's one of the most common things that Bitcoin actually does. So I'm still looking at another move up, and if we do that, it's actually a very typical pattern, right, where Bitcoin enters a bit of an ascending channel, deviates above it, then comes back down. But then the second time we get the breakout, that's the full send. That's the time that the market actually really starts flying. So I think we've got that set up in this market as well right now. I'm not saying that we're definitely going to do it, but it definitely looks like we could be looking at something like that, especially because since we got this drop over here, you know, from this high, we didn't like immediately fall down to like 24k, 23k, right? And I think that's kind of a big deal too. Like we dropped down, we back tested, we got a little bit of support down here, and now we're right back up to the resistance level again. Like short-term chart, that's actually really bullish. I actually really like the look of that. You know, something could change where there's a big fat fingered sell order and then bam, we just drop down. But again, like I said earlier in the video, there's so much support down here that you almost want that to happen, you know? Like, I don't know if it is going to happen. You know, people are going to be asking me, like, I don't know, I didn't buy Bitcoin, whatever, what should I do? I don't know, right? I mean, you know, not doing that was obviously the wrong idea, and I was saying that from a really long time. It's like, I've been all in on Bitcoin for a very long time, and it's because of things like this. I don't want to be missing the train, basically. I've got a very good friend who says, you know, the pain of a bear is worse than the pain of a bull, you know, and you have to sit there and digest that idea a little bit. Some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree, but I actually agree with what he said right there. So, you know, I think the opportunity cost is too high. You know, look, I want to see retracements. It's very, very healthy. The less retracements we have, the more likely we are to fuck this up again and the market drops down and sets new lows, all right? That's just me saying this point blank. I'm in a very heavy long position right now, and I'm still saying the same thing because you know, again, you know, my bias in the market, you know, doesn't change reality, which is that, you know, we need retracements to be healthy. But again, you know, the only way that's going to happen is if, I mean, you know, like a dump like this kind of like, you know, this wasn't organic price action, right? If we zoom in and take a look at this on the 5-minute time frame, you know, we pumped up, we just kind of consolidated, and then you know, and then just bam, you know, just a sell off. Actually, to be fair, this does look fairly organic. For some reason, I thought it was just a straight drop like that, but this does look fairly organic. You know, but if we do, it's basically just like, you know, a big trader gets liquidated or like something weird like that happens, and then we end up dropping, right? But like organic price action wise, like just normal. You know, everything's normal in markets, but you know, like without those things happening, I don't really see how Bitcoin can drop at the moment. I do want to move us over to Ethereum. Like I said, I think this is where more opportunities are in the market, but it's actually quite messy. The thing with Ethereum, and it's in a similar position to Bitcoin, but the thing with Ethereum is that it's got quite a bit of resistance here. If we are able to break above this resistance, get above $1,800, that's it. You know, I mean, I'm seeing first targets like $2,000, but honestly, I think that's a little bit too conservative. I think that Ethereum can easily get up to 2,500. So this looks like a really good trade setup for me. It's actually something that I'm considering doing, and that's why you actually saw me doing that with OKX as well. I'm actually quite interested in trading Ethereum. Have been doing that with the demo bot that I am building out right now as well. This is definitely something that I'm interested in, and again, every trade that I make goes inside of VIP. The last couple trades I've made which have done extremely well were shared inside of Gold, which is the free Telegram channel, but VIP is where everything goes in. They literally see every trade I'm planning, why I'm planning it, why I'm considering it, where I'd be looking to enter that trade, and then when I have more conviction, when I'm actually ready to pull the trigger on it, I'll tell you everything about what I'm doing. I'll tell you where I'm entering, my leverage, my stop loss, my targets, why I don't have targets, if I don't have targets, why I've chosen a stop loss in a particular place, giving you all the background on the trade, and then as the trade develops, continuing to update you in real time as well. You know, here's another example. This is just where I'm updating you on the profits, mentioning that I closed another 5% of my position up in a 200% profit. This was very, very nice to wake up to earlier today. Numbers are insane, still more upside to go. Obviously, we did end up dropping down after that, but that's no problem at all because we are just kind of capturing support. So I have absolutely no issue with stuff like this happening. And then, like I said, guys, we are looking at 50% off on VIP right now, so this is your time to get in to completely skyrocket things and move forward if that's what you think this group will do. And obviously, people have had very mixed results inside of VIP. Some people have done pretty badly. Some people have done many people have done quite well. The key thing that you're gonna get out of VIP beyond anything, forget the fucking gains, right? This isn't important. The key thing you're gonna get first is you're going to get the tools that I use to not lose money. And that's like the most important thing, because if you're not losing money, then you can start looking at making money. If you are losing money, it doesn't matter how good, you know, your trade setups are. It doesn't matter how much money you can make on a good trade. If you're losing too much money, if you're losing too often, or whatever, maybe a combination of those things, you're never ever going to be in a good position in these markets. So that's one of the key things we've seen with VIP members. You just start trading safer. But I mean, you know, trading safe clearly with these, you know, gains that you're seeing me in isn't a compromise. You know, like, it's not like I'm missing out on money here. Still making a shitload of money on these positions. So that is very cool. So moving it back to Ethereum, this is something that I'm interested in trading. Not going to talk about it too much right now because VIPs are going to be getting all of those details. Check it out if you're interested. But you know, I do think that, you know, getting above this resistance level, nice easy jump up to 2K, but you know, even 2.5 looks pretty likely to me. Ethereum against Bitcoin is interesting as well. This is something that I've been watching for a while. We are now back down to some sort of range low. It's a really weird chart, very messy, but this is definitely quite an interesting area where we see a lot of bounces for Ethereum. We haven't quite got a very strong bounce yet, but actually from this wick to where we are right now, we're up by 2%. You know, in terms of resistance, I think we're looking at, you know, 0.072 up here, 0.077. I don't want to say much more beyond this right now. I think these are the two, 0.75, whatever. I think these are the two interesting levels for Ethereum right now. So, you know, potentially seeing Ethereum start to outperform Bitcoin a little bit, it kind of makes sense, because if Bitcoin stays at this 25K level, you know, and then we kind of consolidate, well, you know, I mean, again, I mean, you know, this kind of says everything. Look, Bitcoin up by 2%, Ethereum up by 1.7, Cardano down, actually, Binance Coin up by only 1%. So, you know, altcoins have really been left behind. We've actually seen Bitcoin dominance in a fairly strong position, right, as this rally has gone on, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. You know, now that we've, you know, kind of settled in our minds that this is some bullish price action, we're in like some sort of a bull market, even if it's a really small one. You know, I think that now we're going to start seeing people be like, all right, I'm feeling very greedy right now. Where can I make more money than Bitcoin? And, you know, naturally you turn to Ethereum, and then, you know, after that, the rest of the shit coins. So this is where I think we could start seeing a little bit more altcoin enjoyment. You know, and we have really good setups on these charts. Ethereum against Bitcoin looks ready to move up, even though it's a little bit, you know, it could definitely be ready for something interesting. So this is something that I'm watching closely now, because what I really like about this is, you know, I've traded the move on Bitcoin now. I'm not going to lose money. I've made a lot of profit already. Stop losses at break even. I can even raise it and be in a really nice profit. That's great. But I want to make the same trade again now, because like the hard work is done. The hard work was deciding to trade Bitcoin. Now I just want to make a similar position in other markets so I can just compound that and just absolutely blow it up. So Ethereum looks like a really strong contender for that, but you know, other coins also not in a horrible position. Cardano is actually, looking at this, in my opinion, Cardano's not looking particularly great. Binance Coin is something I'm interested in. You know, Binance Coin is a bit of a sleeping giant, right? I mean, it kind of moves in its own way, right? It doesn't really necessarily move in line with the rest of the market, but when it does, it's really strong. You know, if Binance Coin is able to break its resistance areas, and we're looking at a nice 30% move up, I think, to you know, $430, definitely something that I'm interested in taking a look at as well. So you know, there's a lot going on this chart, guys. This is a really intense time in the market. Very exciting. I think this video must have gone on for like 40 minutes now. Yeah, fuck me, that is a very long video, but there you go. It's almost completely necessary at a time like this. I am very hungry, so I'm gonna go out and get some like sushi or something out here in Tokyo. Once again, guys, if you are in Tokyo or if you have recommendations or whatever, hit me up. Instagram is the best place to reach me, so check it out with the link in the description down below. Really happy to be here. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna go walk around and see what's up, I think, and check it out. I'll tell you what's weird though, guys. I'll tell you what's really weird is that everyone here is so fucking Japanese. Which is like, which I know is what you expect, but kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it. I don't know. I'm a weird guy, but here we are. We're in fucking Tokyo. Bitcoin's pumping. It's 2023. We're in the middle of March. Let's see where this thing goes. Thank you all so much for watching. You know exactly what to do. Guys, get your free cash. Get your free $30,000 by signing up to Bybit. Get your free 20K potentially in rewards by signing up to OKX, taking advantage of all of these offers. They're time-limited offers. They're coming, from sponsors that help keep this channel running as well. So any support that you can show is very, very much appreciated. And of course, if you're interested in jumping inside of VIP, you already know the deal for that as well. You can follow these steps on screen. One final time, smash up the likes if you haven't done so already. Thank you if you have. Subscribe, tick the bell so you don't miss out on this very time-sensitive content. And I'm out. Cheers.